have here the Easy Peasy yarn by Woobles. I highly recommend this yarn because it's easy for beginners to use, really easy to see the stitches with. Or if you just search for a beginner yarn on Amazon, you'll see a lot of similar types of yarn. You'll also need a crochet hook. This is a size G or 4.0 millimeter crochet hook. You'll need some stuffing. You can use the traditional stuffing, which is just a fiber fill like this. But for Oni-chan, I actually ordered some memory foam pieces on Amazon. And the great thing about this is it gives him more of a squishy feel. So if you're wanting more of a stress ball feel, I recommend the memory foam pieces. You will also need a yarn needle. That's the ones with the bigger eyes and a blunt end. An embroidery or tapestry needle also has a bigger eye but more of a pointy end. And some different colors of embroidery thread. Lots of black, but you also might want some pink or red or white to do the face. And at the end of the video, I'll show you some different options for making a face like this or some other options. Okay, let's get started with crocheting Oni-chan. To begin with, we're going to do a chain. A chain is the base of a lot of crochet patterns. So to begin with, we want to take the end of the yarn in your dominant hand and part of the yarn that's attached to the ball in your other hand. To make a chain, we're going to make a slip knot, and the easiest way to do that, we're just going to make a circle that crosses at the top. Now continue to take that yarn around the back. Now we have a pretzel. I'm going to pinch the pretzel right here and pick up my hook. I like to hold my hook like I hold a pencil, except a little higher than I would a pencil. And I'm going to pick up this part of the yarn right here. That's across from my dominant hand, across from the hand with the hook. So I'm just going to put my hook right in there. Now I'm going to tighten the slip knot by grabbing the yarn here and just pulling it tight. Now the key with a chain is you don't want it to be too loose or too tight. So right now this is way too loose. This up against the hook would be too tight. So we want some room. That right there is a good amount of space. The other key to the chain is as we add to the chain, we want it consistent, meaning all the loops are about the same size. So you may want to practice this part several times until you can get consistent size in your chain. So what you can do is just do it once, pull it out, do it again until you feel confident. Okay, I like to wrap the yarn around my pinky. I do that by putting my palm up, draping the yarn between my pinky and ring finger, turn my hand over. And I leave about 3 to 4 inches of space for me to work. And I like to use my fingers to hold right at the base of the hook. Okay? Actually, I'm going to go under to hold. Now to make the chain, I'm just going to grab the yarn with the hook and pull it through. That counts as 1. We want 15 for this pattern, so grab the hook, pull it through. That counts as 2. Now, if for some reason you make one too big or one too tight, that can cause problems later on, so we can just pull out one or pull out the whole thing, stick our hook back in, and keep going. So right now we have 1, 2, 3. Let's get 15. Okay, now we want to count to make sure that we have 15. When you're counting chains, do not count the loop that the hook is in. So we're going to count below that Starting here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, the next step is we're going to learn single crochet into the chain. So most patterns that use single crochet will tell you to start in the second chain from the hook. So if this is the first chain, this right here is the second chain. And looking at it, we're going to stick the hook into that little space right there. Just like that. Now we pick up the yarn, pull it through. Now we have 2 loops on the hook. Pick up the yarn again, pull it through. Okay, that's 1 single crochet. Now keep in mind when we do the next one, where does that go? So this space right here is actually the space we just worked into. So this space right here is the next one. Looking from the top, you can kind of see how this makes a new loop right there. And that's the one we want. Okay? And then pull it through and pull it through again. Okay, so looking at it again, so this is the one we just went into. Right here is where the next one is. All right. Pulling a loop up, wrap around, pull it through. That's 3. Okay, I want you to continue across until you have 13. Okay, notice that we left 1 loop free here. I'll explain that in a second, but let me show you how to count to make sure you have the right number. Okay, so looking from the side, we can see that one of these is a single crochet, but usually I count by looking at the top. So each one of these set of loops is 1. We call this the front loop facing you and the back loop. Okay, so starting from here, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the one our loop is in is 13. Okay, and for this pattern, we're actually going to put 3 single crochet into that last loop. Okay, so go ahead and put your first one in. So by putting your hook in, pull up your loop, go around, go through. Now we're going to go back into that same space. Okay, single crochet again, and then back into that same space one more time, single crochet again. That allows us to kind of turn the corner, as you can see. So we've kind of turned the corner, and now we're actually going to crochet back along the other side of our chain. I want you to do 13 single crochet starting in this space right here. A note about if it starts to get too tight right here against the ball so that you feel like it's pulling too much, don't be afraid to just pull out that yarn and then to do some more single crochet. Okay, and then you just wrap the yarn again around your hand and continue across. just in case you lost count, starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and one more makes 13. Okay, and then we want to do 3 single crochet at the end into here. Oops. All right, that is our first round or row. In our next row, I'm going to teach you how to do an increase. So an increase is 2 single crochet in the same spot. Also, when we're single crocheting into a round of single crochet, it's a little different than when we did with the chain. This time, if you're looking from the top, I want to go under both of these loops. Okay, so when I put my hook in, I'm going under both of those loops. And then I do my single crochet. Now I want to go back into the same space. So see, this is the space I just crocheted in. To do my increase, I'm going to go back into that same space and do another single crochet. That's called an increase. Okay, now we're going to do 12 single crochet across. At the end, we're going to do another increase. So remember, that's 2 single crochet into the same space. 1, now go back into that same space. 2, do 1 single crochet here, and then do another increase here. Continuing down the other side, we're going to do 12 single crochet. Right there. So 2 in the same stitch. And then 1. Starting round 3, let's do another single crochet right here. And then we're going to do another increase. So in this space, put 2 single crochet. Now we're going to do 14 single crochet across. 2 single crochet, another increase, and let's do another 14 single crochet. Increase, and one more single crochet. Alright, the next 2 rounds we're actually going to single crochet all the way around. So right now we have about 40 stitches total. I'm putting the stitch marker here so I can mark when I come back around. And we're just going to single crochet all the way around. A fun note about the name Oni-chan, it's a combination of the Japanese word for rice ball, onigiri, and the Japanese word for big brother, Oni-chan. So that's how I came up with the name Oni-chan. Okay, we made it back around to where our stitch marker is. You should notice that the bottom is starting to kind of cup up like a little boat, and that's exactly what we want. That's what's happening because we're only single crocheting around. We're not adding any increases. Okay, so we want to do one more of those single crochet all the way around. Starting the next row, let's do 4 single crochet, now we're going to do a decrease. A decrease is formed when I take 2 single crochet from the last row and I combine them to make 1. The most common way to do this is what's called an invisible decrease. So you remember I showed you before on the top, this is called the front loop and this is called the back loop. to do the invisible decrease, we're going to grab only the front loop of the next stitch, and then I'm going to grab the front loop of the one after that. So I gotta kind of twist my hook around, oops, front loop, and the front loop of the next one. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the yarn and pull it through both of those loops. Now I have the 2 loops here, and pull through that. Okay. The next important part about a decrease is making sure when I continue on with my single crochet, I go into the right one. So when I do my next regular single crochet, if you look from the top, you can see how this space right here actually is kind of getting pulled up into where my hook is at. So that's actually part of my decrease. The one I want to go into next is the one that doesn't look like it's being pulled or made smaller at all. So it's this one here. So when I go into the next one, I want to go in here to do my single crochet. Now I'll go ahead and do 9 single crochet. Okay, and another decrease. So remember, for the decrease, if I'm looking from the top, I'm going to grab the front loop of that next one and the front loop of the one after that, pull my yarn through both of those loops and complete that. Then for my next single crochet, I'm going into this space here. Let's do 6 single crochet. And actually 2 more, so that would make 8. Okay, and now do another decrease. And then 9 single crochet. One more decrease. And 2 more single crochet. As you can see, the decrease is starting to allow us to go up the sides of Oni-chan and reduce the number of stitches. So then continuing, let's do another round of single crochet only. On our next row, we're going to do more decreases, but at the ends. So let's do 16 single crochet. here at the end, we're going to do another decrease. So grabbing that front loop and a front loop, pulling through those, and then pulling through the 2 loops. Okay, we're going to do another 16 down the other side. So remember, we're going to start here with our next single crochet and do 16. And do another decrease at the end. The next row is going to be very similar, only this time we're going to do 15 single crochet, decrease, 15 single crochet, decrease. So start with the 15 single crochet. Decrease, 15. Decrease. We're going to do that again. This time we're going to do 14 single crochet, decrease, 14 single crochet, decrease. You can see we're getting smaller each time. Decrease, 14 single crochet, and decrease. Okay, the next row is going to have 13 single crochet and decrease, 13 single crochet and decrease. Now something you can note is that we don't have to do the decrease exactly where the pattern says. The main thing is that for every 13 single crochet I do, I have 1 decrease, and that they're pretty evenly spaced. But you can see, because of how we've done the decreases, it's starting to move more over to the side and not the end. So we can move those decreases a little bit. We understand that there needs to be 2 decreases total They need to be pretty evenly spaced. But what if we moved and counted, instead of counting exactly 13 single crochet, we wanted to move those towards the end more. Now you see I got towards the end more. I can put the decrease more at the end, even though I really did more than 13 single crochet. And as we come back along, let's do the same thing. Just single crochet till you get to the end and put your decrease at the end. So basically what I want you to learn from that is that it's not always important to have the decreases or increases in the exact same place, as long as I have the same number of decreases or increases. For more advanced patterns, it might matter because they might have a specific place to create a specific feature. But in something like this where we're just working around, it doesn't really matter as much. The goal is that we would just have the same number of decreases and that the number of stitches at the end is correct. Okay, at this point, we actually are going to have more decreases because we're getting towards the end and we want it to begin to decrease more sharply. So for this, I am going to follow a little bit more of a specific pattern. I want to do 4 single crochet, a decrease, six single crochet, decrease, five single crochet, a decrease, six single crochet, a decrease. You can count the number of stitches starting with where our loop is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If for some reason you have more than 24, I recommend just crocheting a little bit more and then adding another decrease. If you have less than 24, like maybe you have 23, then maybe pull out some, a little bit, take out that last decrease, and then just crochet forward. So it's pretty flexible. You're not going to ruin the pattern, but we do want to end up with close to the same amount of stitches. But we can just, instead of going back and finding exactly where we made the mistake, we can just make a small correction here by adding an increase to get the right number or taking out a decrease. So we want 24. Okay, let's do another row. So this one, we're going for the decreases at the end again. So instead of counting, remember, it'll be about approximately 10 single crochet and a decrease. But let's just single crochet across till we get to the end and then decrease. Decrease at the end. Continue your single crochets around the other side. At this point, it's a good idea to go ahead and stuff it most of the way full, so we can get it really packed in there. You can pull your hook out just by kind of pulling up so that loop doesn't accidentally get pulled out. Remember that tail that we started with, it's down inside, so we don't need to worry about that. Now, you're welcome to use just regular fiber fill, polyfill stuffing you can get at most craft stores. But if you purchase my kit on Etsy, I include instead these memory foam pieces. And what that does is give it more of a stress ball, squishy feel. So I'm going to use memory foam pieces. They're a little bit more of a challenge to stuff in, but not so much. So we're just gonna keep pushing in as much as we can, packing it in there, little bits at a time, making sure you really push into the corners of your rice ball, filling it out. Okay, he's not 100% full. I can definitely fit more in there, but he's full enough for now. We'll add some more in a minute. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my hook back in, tighten that up a little around my hook, and start the next row. Okay. So the next row, we are going to have a total of 4 decreases. And I'm going to try to space these pretty evenly around. So let's do a single crochet. Make sure you're getting under both. Now it is a little more challenging with the stuffing. I got to kind of push that down with my fingers as I work. And then let's do a decrease. About 4 single crochet. and another decrease. Another 4. So I keep pushing that back down. Another decrease. Another 4. Another decrease. One more single crochet. All right, now's the point when I want to get in any additional stuffing. The next row is going to bring us a lot smaller, so it'll be a lot harder to push anything in. So feel for any like spaces where you can get your finger really down in. Those are the spaces that you want to fill up. Okay, it's okay if it's overflowing a little bit. We're going to push that down as we work around. Now, the end of toys like this is a little bit more challenging. We want to keep our stitch size consistent, not too loose. And we're going to be working it closed. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we want 4 more decreases, kind of evenly spaced. So I'm going to go ahead and add another single crochet here. And then let's do a decrease. And I'm pushing down that stuffing with my finger so I can get to the stitches easily. Okay, do about 3 single crochet. And another decrease. And 3 more single crochet. And another decrease. And 3 more single crochet. One more decrease. And just a couple more single crochet. Okay. They're looking really good, right? All right, now we're getting to the point where we're going to be closing it up. So we're going to decrease all the way around. This is a little bit more challenging. So just take your time as you do it. You know, getting your finger down in there to really hold on to the work helps. So we want 7 decreases. So go ahead and start with the first one. Again, making sure my next decrease starts in the right spot. So not that one that's getting pulled up into this decrease, but starting here, but it's another decrease. So again, I'm grabbing that front loop only, and then the next one, pulling through. Okay, that's 2. Okay, keep working your way around, another decrease. Three, another one. 4, another one. 5, another one. 6, and our last one. If I can't fit my finger in there, it's okay to just kind of hold everything like this. Get those, use the hook part of your crochet hook to grab those front loops. All right, that was my last one. Great job. Now you will have a little bit of a hole at the top. I'm going to show you how to close that. Okay, to finish it off, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our yarn, maybe leave about 5 or 6 inches, just to be sure. And with your crochet hook, go ahead and wrap the yarn around, and this time pull it all the way through the loop. This is called fastening off, okay? And then pull that tight. So now that end is fastened off, it won't come loose, but we still have this hole that we need to deal with. So this is where your yarn needle is going to come in use. A yarn needle is like this. It has a big eye for yarn and is blunt on the end. They can be metal or plastic. And we're just going to thread that end through. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to start on the inside of the hole, and that front loop, just go underneath like that. You see right here. So here's where we ended, starting from the inside of the hole, going through the front loop. Just go through there. Now the next stitch, go back in, and then back out, back in, back out, back in, all the way around. And then just pull it closed. Now we still got some of a bump there. What we can do to get rid of that is take our end, kind of stick it down in anywhere, and come out somewhere else. Come out like down here. Pull that through. There you go. Now if we want to tie it off just to make sure it doesn't come undone at all, which it really wouldn't anyway, you can kind of slip through any piece there and then make a knot. And then make your knot disappear by going back in, poking through just like that. When we cut it off, I like to pull up on the tail a little bit, just like that, and then cut it, and then it will just disappear inside. And we have finished the body of Oni-chan.